Let's be honest, we've all done it. You're staring into that mirror, practically trying to will your hair to grow faster. But what if I told you the most important part of that whole process is, well, completely invisible? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the hidden science of hair growth and find out why sometimes the best thing you can do for it is to just look away.
Does this feel a little familiar? You start a brand new, hopeful routine, and every single morning you're leaning into the mirror, zooming in, just searching for any tiny sign of progress. It's totally natural, I get it. But that one little habit, it's the very thing that's setting you up for disappointment.
And this brings us to a really crucial piece of advice from trichologist William Gannett. He says, you cannot judge your hair on a daily basis. And you know what? This one idea, it changes absolutely everything about how we should be thinking about progress. Because that daily check-in, it's not just unhelpful, it's actually misleading you.
So why is looking in the mirror every day such a bad strategy? Well, it's pretty simple, actually. Our eyes are desperately trying to find these big, obvious changes in a process that is happening on a totally different scale, a microscopic level.
And this really captures that disconnect, right? That voice in your head is full of doubt. You're thinking, my hair is still so thin, or this just isn't working. But the scientific reality, the truth is that deep down under your scalp, growth is happening. It's just working on a scale that our eyes can't possibly see yet. So if we're not supposed to be looking at our hair, where should we be focusing? Well, the real secret to understanding hair growth isn't on the surface at all. It's all about the incredible invisible action happening just beneath the scalp. The key idea to wrap your head around here is something called subscalp growth. Okay, think of it like planting a seed. There's this whole flurry of activity and growth happening underground, right? But you're not going to see that little plant break through the soil for quite a while. Your hair follicles, they're doing the exact same thing.
And this right here is the biggest takeaway. The most critical, the most important phase of new hair growth is completely invisible. The mirror just can't show you the follicles waking up or new hairs starting their long journey. Learning to trust this unseen process is, well, it's everything.
Okay, you might be thinking, but what about all the shedding? It's maybe the most discouraging part of this whole thing, and this is where a concept I call the 12-week echo comes into play. The hair you see falling out today has almost nothing to do with what's happening on your scalp right now.
Just look at this timeline. A hair that falls out today actually got its, let's call them marching orders, to leave the follicle up to 12 weeks ago. That's almost 3 whole months. For all that time, it's just been slowly making its way to the surface. So what you see in the shower drain today is quite literally old news.
I love this idea of thinking of shedding as an echo of the past. It's such a powerful mental shift, isn't it? It helps us totally separate today's shedding from today's growth because they're operating on 2 completely different and unrelated timelines.
All right, so if the daily mirror check is officially out, what is the right way to track your progress? Let's dive into a new strategy, one that's way more effective and honestly way less stressful.
The big question is, how do we break out of that cycle of daily frustration? How do we adopt a method that actually lines up with the real biology of how our hair grows?
Here's a super simple 3-step plan. First, just make a conscious decision to stop the daily mirror check. Just break that habit. Step 2, switch to weekly photos. Seriously, taking pictures in the same spot with the same lighting, that will reveal the slow and steady changes that your daily glance will always miss. And finally, number 3, trust the process. You have to just acknowledge and believe in all that real work, that subscalp growth that's happening invisibly.
And you know, this kind of leaves us with a final, bigger thought. This whole principle of trusting the unseen process, it applies to so much more than just hair, doesn't it? Think about learning a new skill or getting in shape or maybe building a business. So often the most meaningful progress is happening below the surface, long before the results are obvious to anyone. So what could you accomplish if you just gave those invisible processes the time and the trust they really need to flourish?